DL Hughely, one of the original kings of comedy, made a post that I disagree with, you feel me? And of course, disrespectfully, OG, you made a post quoting Dave Chappelle where he said, I said the N-word 5,000 times on a Dave Chappelle show, and nobody tried to counsel me. In fact, they offered me $50 million to keep on doing it. We call this a false correlation. You know, usually we'll be like, you comparing apples to oranges, but in this fact, OG, I ain't even saying you comparing apples to oranges, because at least those two things are edible and they fruits. In this instance, you're comparing a apple to a tricycle. Both of those things is red, and that's the only thing they got in common. I mean this respectfully, but I thought as a professional comedians, y'all understood the uniqueness of being a part of the black community, which gave you access to talk about the black community in ways that people outside the black community cannot talk about, right? Or metaphorically, we've all heard the saying, I can talk about my mama, but you can't talk about my mama. So this false correlation of pointing out that Dave Chappelle said the N-word 5,000 times and made jokes talking shit about black people, but once he started talking shit about trans people and calling himself a TERF, he wanted to be canceled. It's a false correlation because he's not a part of that community. Let's keep it going though. In the caption of this post, you say, where was all the outrage? Oh, y'all was too busy laughing. Now imagine us saying, Kramer made a whole bunch of jokes making fun of white people, but as soon as he goes on a racial tirade and start talking about hanging black people, he was canceled. That's a false correlation, correctly? It's a lot of lazy argumentation going on here. You feel me? A lot of folks keep on saying, well, he a comedian and comedians should be able to say what they want to say and do what they want to do. Hey, Kramer was a comedian. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people are forgetting that the historical origins of blackface and minstrel shows are comedy. But we know today in 2021, we don't want to see no damn blackface or minstrel shows, correct? And we also know who made those popular, right? Non-black people. I rock with you, Unc, and we both smart men, you feel me? So we know when Donald Trump made that statement and said, stand back and stand by, we knew that was a dog whistle to whom, you feel me? When Dave Chappelle talking about, is it one day or multiple days, that was a dog whistle to whom? That's specific, right? When you say they didn't try to cancel, you talking about white people, right? White people could not object to him saying the N-word, and black folks was having a great time laughing at him saying the N-word. We can't be so lost in the sauce of trans negativity that we literally slide into some white logic. Black people can say the N-word 5,000 times, but y'all are forefront being contrarian to white people at the expense of black trans people. And let's forget the white folks for a minute right now. How many black trans people have y'all spoken to on this topic, or y'all only tokenizing the ones that agree with y'all like white folks do Candace Owens? Which brings me to another point. We recognize that though Candace Owens is not a comedian, both Candace Owens and Dave Chappelle like to critique and talk shit about about black people. We recognize that Dave Chappelle critiques and talks about black people a lot different than what Candace Owens do. And we know Candace Owens try to bust her jokes every once in a while and they hella whack, but we recognize it's not what you do, but how you do it. Respectfully as well, a lot of y'all are going to be on the wrong side of history when it comes to this black trans thing. And notice I said black trans thing. I ain't talking about no white trans one right now. Think about it though.